Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Arizona.
A beautiful day in South Florida. There we are, Marlins Park in the background, right behind the Miami skyline, and a rarity here for this ballpark today. Blue skies overhead, no rain in the forecast, a gorgeous day, so the roof and the panels are open here at Marlins Park. Ichiro and the Marlins against Yasmani Tomas and the Diamondbacks. It's D-backs baseball on a gorgeous Miami afternoon evening here on Fox Sports Arizona. And good afternoon from Marlins Park. Welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthune, Bob Brunley along the way. The D-backs and the Marlins, the second of a four-game series. Your pitching matchup here today, Jeremy Hellickson for the Diamondbacks and Tom Kohler for the Marlins. We have talked, Bob, a lot in the recent days about Yasmani Tomas, much more comfortable here with his surroundings, comfortable at the major league level, and it's translating on the field.
Yeah, just playing a much more relaxed brand of baseball. He's starting to pull the pitches he should pull, drive the ball the other way when that's what's called for. Big double in the game last night to drive in two, but the one that impressed me was a two-strike base hit into right field in the 12th inning. He was later erased on a double play ball, but just so comfortable at the plate right now, letting the ball get deep, and I think because he's comfortable at the plate, he's comfortable on defense as well. Made some nice plays last night.
And back in there in the lineup tonight for Chip Hale. Also, Chris Owings getting the start at second base. He has really come alive offensively last 10 games or so.
Yeah, and this is where his versatility really shows up. You can play him at second base. If you want Nick Ahmed at short, you can slide him over to short if you want Aaron Hill in the lineup. And throughout it all, Chris Owings has been barreling up the ball with regularity. Even his outs lately have been hit hard.
Well, this should be a fun game to watch. It's always interesting in this ballpark on those rare occasions when everything is wide open, and it is wide open and gorgeous here this evening. The panel's open, the roof is open. We are set for baseball while the D-backs defense steps up. Jody Jackson has more on that. Then it's first pitch, the Diamondbacks and the Marlins from here in Miami on Fox Sports Arizona. Gigablast. How will you live the gig life? By Lone Butte Casino. You're in for more winning moments at Lone Butte Casino. And by Jack in the Box. Jack's hottest sandwich is back. Head to Jack in the Box for Jack's Blazing Chicken Sandwich.
And welcome back to Marlins Park in Miami. Gorgeous night, roof open, and the Diamondbacks pleased with their effort in a 3-2 win in 13 innings last night. Jody Jackson with you. Now, one thing that Chip Hale conveyed to his team after getting swept in Philadelphia, among other things, is the fact that they need to relax a little more, not press so much, because bad things happen in those cases, not good things, like playing solid defense, like this team has done really all season long. But last night in particular, in a tight game, a game that was locked at 2 until the 13th. Defense was so important. A couple of guys that played big roles in that game defensively, Tuffy Gozwich and Chris Owings, talk about the importance of playing great D.
You know, defensive has definitely been one of our strong suits this season, and we stress that in spring training, just, you know, making the routine play and trying to help the pitchers out, and I think that's been, you know, really good for them, is just to have confidence in the infield and the outfield, and just, you know, allowing them to hit the ground, you know, throw strikes and letting them hit ground balls, and, you know, letting us do some work behind them.
Defense is huge, you know, they win games. Saving runs is just as important as scoring runs, so anytime we can play defense, you know, well and play relaxed, I think you're going to be better overall as a team. And I think yesterday we did play a little more relaxed, and we pressed a little less. And
well, defense, as we all know, a pitcher's best friend. And with that, we wonder tonight, will it be a pitching duel or will the offenses break out? It's Tom Kohler making the start for the Miami Marlins in place of Jared Cozart. And for the Arizona Diamondbacks, it's Jeremy Hellickson looking for win number 2 on the season. First pitch comes your way next. Steve Berthiaume and Bob Brenly have the call right here on Fox Sports Arizona.
Here today, the humidity was down a bit, not a cloud in the sky overhead. Pretty comfortable for Miami this time of year. So on one of the rare occasions here at Marlins Park, everything is opened up, the panels and the roof. It is just simply a gorgeous night here for baseball as the Diamondbacks get set to face your Arizona Ford starting pitcher for the Miami Marlins. He's Tom Kohler, the 28-year-old right-hander. Won 10 games with Miami here last year. The Diamondbacks hitting coach is Turner Ward.
He's a fastball pitcher. He really tries to establish the fastball and pitching off the fastball. We seen him some last year. I know he's in the in the rotation earlier in the season. Now he's coming out of the bullpen. So we'll probably see a little bit different guy than we saw him, from coming out of the bullpen. But he's a fastball pitcher. He relies on that to pitch off his off-speed pitches. So, we're a fastball hitting team. We want to, take advantage of that, being aggressive.
Well, Tom Kohler worked in relief for Miami here Saturday against Atlanta after losing his starting spot. Now he's back in the rotation tonight, taking the place of Jared Kozard, who went on the 15-day DL with vertigo. It's Kohler's 8th start this year.
Yeah, you heard the fastball from Turner Ward. He also features a really good spike curveball. He also has a slider that he throws very hard. It looks more like a cutter than a slider. Throws it at 87, 88 miles per hour. And it'll be interesting to see how deep into the ball game Kohler can pitch today. As you said, he's been working out of the bullpen as a long guy, but they're going to try to stretch him out a little bit here tonight.
So hopefully they can square up a few Tom Kohler fastballs tonight. The lineup for Chip Hale's Arizona Diamondbacks looking for their 2nd straight win over the Marlins.
Ender Inciarte in center field will lead it off. Mark Trumbo out in right field. Paul Goldschmidt at first base. David Peralta out in left field. Yasmani Tomas, big night on both sides of the ball last night. He'll be at third base. You see the numbers for Chris Owings during his 7-game hit streak. He'll be at second base tonight. Tuffy Gosewich doing the catching. Nick Ahmed at shortstop, and right-hander Jeremy Hellickson on the mound.
D-backs coming off last night extra inning win here at Marlins Park. The Diamondbacks' 3rd win in 5 extra inning games this year. And Ender Inciarte set to lead it off for the Diamondbacks at 3:06 on the year. Tom Kohler on the mound. Dan Bellino is our plate umpire. All opened up here on a gorgeous Tuesday night in Miami. Strike one.
Yeah, much like Chase Field, conventional wisdom here is the ball's going to carry a little better tonight with the roof and panels open. It's been a little breezy from time to time this afternoon. Not sure what effect that will have on balls hit in the air, but we'll find out shortly.
Yeah, we are way up high here at Marlins Park, and you see that open panel, a beautiful view of the Miami skyline, but the wind comes blowing right through in here. And up where we are, it's awfully windy. Ender rolls one into center field. An 0-2 pitch for a base hit for Inciarte, leadoff man aboard. Take a look at the Marlins defensively around their right-hander Tom Kohler.
Christian Yelich in left field tonight. Marcell Ozuna back in center field after a night off last night. Giancarlo Stanton out in right field. It'll be Prado and Echeverria on the left side of the infield with D. Gordon and Michael Morse on the right side. JT Realmuto doing the catching for right-hander Tom Kohler.
Mark Trumbo back in the 2-hole tonight. Big cut at that one. It's 0-1. Mark batting .281, 6 homers and 19 RBIs. Had a base hit in last night's ball game. He was 1 for 4. He's hit in 3 straight. You got some, what do you call those, paperweights up here?
Paperweights. That's cell phone, binoculars.
It is really blowing up where we are.
An elbow on each side. Just try to hold everything down.
When's the last time anybody gave you a paperweight as like a Christmas gift? Anything?
That's the perfect gift for a broadcaster.
They do come in handy from time to time, and this is one of those nights. It's a fly ball to center field. Marcell Ozuna, deep part of the park. Ender goes back to first, and he will bluff and hold there as he feigned a tag into second base, but Ozuna got it back in there quickly, and Kohler has his first out. The umpires tonight: Dan Bellino has the plate. Bruce Dreckman at first base. Tom Hallion, the crew chief, is at second, and Alfonso Marquez at third.
I like that play by Ender Inciarte. Go back and tag up. Very rarely will you see a major league outfielder miss a routine fly ball. So what's the point in going halfway? You might as well go back and tag. You might be able to advance 90 feet if that throws off line.
Ball 1 to Goldie. Paul Goldschmidt batting .328. That is 6th in the National League. Goldie 3rd in RPIs and 4th in OPS. Singled and scored a run in last night's game here. Was 1 for 5. Ender really leaning out towards second base. It looked like he was ready to go, and Kohler stepped off.
Well, he's already accomplished part of what he wants to do as a base runner at first. Try to distract some attention away from the hitter at the plate. Maybe Kohler will make a mistake to Goldie and put the D-backs on the board early.
Dave McKay was showing the Diamondback base runners before the ball game today. Tom Kohler's move, it's a pretty good one, especially for a right-hander. Sometimes he'll throw over like he did there when he comes set. Sometimes, as he's leaning in to look for the pitch call from the catcher, he'll suddenly step off and throw over to first as well. So he tries to mix it up a bit. And it's usually pretty effective. Ciarte holds. Goldie check swing, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. He did not go, says Bruce Streckman down at first. There's the strike, 2-1. Tom Kohler. We'll see how this factors in with the roof open here tonight, but he has been vulnerable to the long ball this year. Goldie skies one to shallow right center field. Gordon ranging out there. Ozuna has it. And there are 2 outs. Kohler allowed only 16 homers in his 32 starts last season. But he's already given up 7 home runs this year, so double his home runs allowed rate from a year ago. One of the offensive heroes from last night for the Diamondbacks, David Peralta. 272 and 4 homers. He's driven in 15 runs now. A 2-out pinch hit RBI double in the 13th inning last night. Delivered the go-ahead run. Turned out to be the winning run. Strike 1. This was David last night in the 13th. And Ender tries to sneak in there at second, and he is thrown out. So the Diamondbacks run into an out on the bases there. And that's the end of the top of the first. We'll show you 2 when we come back here from Marlins Park. On the bases, and that just happened to win the first.
Yeah, good idea, but bad execution. He takes his lead. He's waiting for the catcher to lob the ball back to the mound, which indeed Real Muto did, but heads up play by Tom Kohler. His teammates were screaming, second base, second base. And that's just an alert play by the pitcher to wheel around and fire right to the bag.
So that takes care of the Diamondbacks in the top of the first. And now the Major League's leading hitter, D. Gordon, steps in against your D-back starter today. Jeremy Hellickson. Corners creep in. Tomas at third. Goldie at first. And that's in the seats. Your Arizona Ford starting pitcher is Jeremy Hellickson. His 8th start of the year, looking for his 2nd win.
Diamondbacks did a nice job of keeping D. Gordon off the bases last night. Gordon was 0 for 5. Giancarlo Stanton was 0 for 4 with a walk and was promptly caught trying to steal.
Gordon hitless, a couple of strikeouts. He's at that magic Ted Williams mark of 406 to lead the major leagues, leading the big leagues in hits as well. One-two pitch. Always important for Jeremy Hellickson to have a quick, clean first inning. His ERA in the first inning this year is over 10. Fouls off the bunt with 2 strikes, and there's the strikeout for Hellickson. Let's hear from Chip Hale about tonight's starter for the Diamondbacks.
He has been tough to play behind. I think the defense would tell you that, but our guys have made the plays. He seems to, somewhere or another we get into the 5th or 6th inning, we're still in the game. So he's pitching okay. Obviously his ERA is not good. His numbers could be better. And I think he just gets confidence in his fastball and working it in and out and throwing strikes with it and not getting behind it. I talk about it a lot, controlling counts. If he can control the counts, he's a much better pitcher.
Pace of game. Martin Prado.
Yeah, controlling those counts. Get in your favor. Jump ahead if you can, as he's done here against Martin Prado, a notoriously patient hitter. We know that. You put that hitter on the defensive right away, he's not going to take those aggressive swings that he will take when he's ahead in the count 2-0 or 3-1.
0-2 pitch is swung on. He knocks it into the seats. Martin Prado just under 270 this year with a pair of homers. 1 for 5 in last night's ball game.
And we know from his time with the Diamondbacks that Martin likes to put a lot of pine tar on the bat, and he likes to tap that area of the bat on his shoulder as he takes his setup position in that batter's box.
Tapped out to shortstop. Nick Ahmed has it. 2 up, 2 down. Yeah, Martin came up to me during batting practice and said hello. He was great. It was great to see him. Reaches out. I shook his hand. Covered in pine tar. I stuck to everything on the way up.
Well, we'll monitor his jersey tonight. Just a slight little mark on each side where that pine tar touched the jersey. We'll see how it looks by the time this evening is over.
Giancarlo Stanton, 243. 2nd in the majors in RBIs. And tied for 4th in the big leagues in home runs. Boy, Jeremy, so far so good, throwing strike 1. Only Nelson Cruz, Bryce Harper, and Todd Frazier have hit more home runs than Giancarlo Stanton this year. He's homered 4 times in his last 6 games. Shift is on with 3 infielders on the left-hand side for the Diamondbacks. And as Bob mentioned, just like D. Gordon last night, this was a big thing for the Diamondbacks. You keep Stanton off the bases, 0 for 4. He did have a walk, but was caught stealing. Also had a strikeout, 2nd in the National League in strikeouts, behind only the Cubs' Jorge Soler. He's ahead here, 3-1.
Good spot for that 91-mile-an-hour heater. 3-1, keep it down. Hope that he hits the top part of the baseball and puts it on the ground. That time he came up empty completely.
Lifts the 3-2 pitch way up in the air, and the wind will blow it into the seats. Dan Jennings, the GM, his second game as manager. This is his lineup tonight.
D. Gordon at the top playing second base. Martin Prado at third. Giancarlo Stanton in right field. Marcelo Zuna out in center. JT Realmuto doing the catching. Christian Yelich in left. Michael Morse at first base. Adeiny Echeverria at shortstop. And Tom Kohler, the righty, on the mound.
Big swing and a miss. A nice pitch there by Jeremy Hellickson, who works a clean 1-2-3 first with a pair of strikeouts. He got Gordon, he got Stanton. No score in Miami. Tonight's word is beach. Log on to foxsportsarizona.com/beattheheat and enter the word beach for your chance to win a trip to San Diego for the July 4th weekend. You can go to the beach there. Throughout May, we will provide the word of the day during every game. Once you see it, go to foxsportsarizona.com/beattheheat. Enter that word. The more times you enter, the better your chances. All the info you need is at foxsportsarizona.com. Password is beach. Did you get out there today at all?
No. It's hot and humid. There's bugs and all kinds of stuff out there.
It has turned into a lovely yet breezy evening here. Peralta back up there. He was at the plate in the top of the first when Ender Inciarte was thrown out. And he's quickly down 0-2. Kohler, a nice play coming off the mound. He'll take it himself. Prior to the Stony Brook Seawolves, Tom Kohler. Brings up the man of the hour, Yasmani Tomas. There's Dan Jennings, the GM, his second game as manager. His pitching coach is Chuck Hernandez. Tomas now at .329 on the year, 11 RBIs, coming off a 3-hit night here last night, including his 2-run double in the fourth inning that gave the Diamondbacks the early lead. Everybody has talked about this, Bob. This guy looks like, not that he was super tense before, he's a very low-key guy, very easygoing, but everyone has noticed that he seems much more comfortable here.
I think it's the confidence that comes with swinging the bat well and playing much improved defense over what we saw over at Salt River Fields this spring. He has really come a long way in a short period of time.
And Chip Halen watching Tomas become more and more acclimated to playing in the big leagues and life in the U.S. in general. Says, look, he's just having fun. And Chip said last night, Tomas, if you watch him out there, exudes fun. And his teammates have noticed it. David Peralta was saying Tomas getting more confident, more comfortable. And at the plate, getting that feeling to go out there, hit the ball, and be aggressive. And we've seen that lately.
But yet always under control. Of the guys that you would consider regulars for the Arizona Diamondbacks, he has the fewest strikeouts, only 13 punch-outs this season. That's why that at bat in the 12th inning last night I thought was very impressive. He got in a 2-strike hole and got a pitch out over the plate and shot it into right field.
He's got 3 straight multi-hit games. He is 8 for his last 15 at the plate. 3-2 pitch. Good take right there, and it's a 1-out walk here in the second. Tomas on base again.
Pretty good breaking ball that time from Kohler in a 2-strike count, and Yasmani recognizes it the last instant, strong enough to hold that bat back and takes a base on balls, his 6th of the season.
And here comes the other guy we talked about at the top of our broadcast today, Chris Owings. Now just under 270, couple of home runs. And CO with some help from extra innings last night, able to extend his hitting streak. First pitch swinging, pops it up first base side. Big Michael Morse is camped out underneath. 2 down. Morse back in there at first base tonight. We saw Bohr play there last night. Morse has really been slumping. They're trying to get his bat going. 2 down now for Tuffy. Tuffy goes a wish, 228, 12 RBIs. And last night belted a double out to the deepest part of this ballpark, that rounded corner in center field just to the right of the sculpture out there. The artwork. His 5th double this year. There it is. As we mentioned last night, don't see a lot of center fields that have a corner or a nook or a cranny.
And because of that nook, cranny, corner, whatever you want to call it out there just to the left to straightaway center field, I got to believe there's going to be a bunch of inside the park home runs in this ballpark.
You would think, yeah.
You hit one out there at just the right angle, it'll deflect away from the outfielders and roll along that warning track.
Because that wall there is rounded, so it must be hard to play just a straight carom off a flat wall. It's curved right there. Next to that artwork, which is a nude fish descending staircase number 2. Famous painting. So Tuffy with the double last night, 1 for 5. He's hit safely in 5 of his last 6 games. He got 3 RBIs over that span. Two down, Tomas at first. This is inside at 93. That's even 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Tailing fastball just off of that inside corner. Tuffy not only battling up there in this at bat, but making mental notes of what pitches are called strikes and which ones are not called strikes, so he can go back there and help Jeremy Hellickson.
On the ground is second, right to D. Gordon. They flip to Echeverria to go the short way for the force on Tomas. And that's the top of the second. No score at Marlins Park. Friday, enjoy a post-game fireworks show courtesy of Gila River Casinos. Saturday, pick up the MLB Network bag. And on Sunday, the D-backs fedora courtesy of Gila River Casinos. Get your tickets now for this weekend's D-backs Cubs series at dbacks.com. Don't forget also, Friday is Superheroes Night. And you got to get that. I mean, this item is blowing up all over America after what we did in Philadelphia. Marcell Ozuna now for the Marlins. It's big in the UK. It just broke in Belgium. I don't know what that means. But Superhero Night, Friday the 22nd. You got to get the special ticket package to get your superhero T-shirt. We presented a version to Joyce, our friend in Philadelphia, Sunday, and it's boy, they're trying to get her on the Today Show now. She's done all the radio shows, all the local TV shows, talking about this T-shirt in Philly. The Today Show called. So there's talk she might go to NYC and appear on that show with Bryant and Katie or whoever's on that show. Now,
Yeah. We've created a monster.
We sure have. So Friday's the superhero T-shirt night. It's that Captain America T-shirt instead of the star in the middle on the shield there. It's a D-back logo. These are a one-of-a-kind item. And that's Friday. But you got to get the special ticket package to get the shirt. It's only about 1,000 of them out there. So this is going to become a really, really highly sought-after item after Friday. This was Joyce. Friday, our unnamed staff member went down there, Sunday, and presented her with this shirt after this Phillies goon just knocked her out of the way to get that home run ball off Maikel Franco. And there is our unnamed staff member. And there's the shirt, the superhero shirt that you can get Friday.
A star is born.
Tomas backs up at third, sets himself, long throw, right on the money to Goldie. One down in the second.
We've talked a lot about Tomas and his improved defense lately, and I keep coming back to the fact he's not thinking anymore. It's like when you would try to adjust your golf swing and you're getting lessons from a pro and he's telling you about your left hand and your right shoulder, and you think about all those things as you're practicing, but at some point it becomes second nature. It becomes muscle memory. I've done this. I know what I have to do. Just react to what I see now.
JT Realmuto, the catcher. First pitch swinging, drives it to left field, but Peralta has room. 5 up, 5 down so far against Hellickson. Realmuto last night, you'll recall, had the big hit in the ballgame for Miami. That homer in the 7th that tied it 2-2 off Ruby De La Rosa. The Marlins have not had a hit since. Their final 22 batters after the Realmuto homer did not get a hit. And their first 5 tonight haven't got a hit. So Diamondbacks pitching doing a good job here against the Marlins. Here's Yelich with 2 outs. Just under 180 with a homer. 2-0. Jeremy Hellickson, Bob, appears to be working, and we heard Chip Hale talk about this a moment ago. His pace, he's working a little faster here. Seems to be working well. There's a strike, 2-1. In fact, Jeremy, if you look it up, in terms of pace, this is something they actually chart and document, is the second slowest working pitcher in the major leagues behind only David Price of the Tigers. Misses there, 3-1. Now, granted, he hasn't had a base runner yet, hasn't worked out of the stretch. But if he can maintain this pace, you gotta think it can only help him and his defenders behind him. On the ground, right to Nick Ahmed at shortstop. 6 up, 6 down. A good start for Jeremy Hellickson. No score in Miami. Friendly Jody Jackson with you. Set for the third inning at Marlins Park, where, as you can see right there, everything, including those panels out there in left field, wide open. Something they don't often get the chance to do here at Marlins Park. Everybody maybe was excited about it. We're a little more spoiled. We can generally at Chase Field keep the roof open late May, early June sometime. Showed up the ballpark today. Everyone, hey, did you hear the roof's going to be open? It's a big deal here. And you can see why this ballpark, when it's all opened up, it is just gorgeous. Nick Ahmed looks at ball one. Roof it's flat. It just kind of slides all the way across like a piece of Tupperware or something. But what's interesting about this roof is it doesn't fold up like almost all the other roofs seem to do. There are big pillars out in front, almost like Roman columns in the front of the ballpark here that extend way out in front of the main entrance, and the whole roof just sort of slides over it, and when it's open creates this big overhang outside the main entryway. It's a pretty cool design. Now see, that's the front, and they got those big white columns there just hold up the roof whenever it's open. And you walk in, you got some shade there, some coverage by the palm trees. Ahmed chases the 1-2 pitch. First strikeout for Tom Kohler. Brings up Jeremy Hellickson. Despite pitching in the National League East, the Diamondbacks actually got 2 looks at Tom Kohler last year, both starts. He went 1-1 in those starts against Arizona with mixed results. He was shelled at Chase Field last July 7th. 7 runs, all earned, 8 hits, lasted only 3 innings. But then Kohler turned around and beat the D-backs here in Miami August 17th last year. 6 innings, 2 runs, had 7 strikeouts. 1-2. And this is his 8th start for the Marlins this year. Pulled from the rotation last week, but with Jared Cozart out, Kohler is back in a starting role. All of his 32 appearances with the Marlins last year came as a starter. Went 10-10, a 3.81 ERA, and did all right. Actually led all Marlins pitchers last year in strikeouts and was second in ERA. But he's gone full to the pitcher here, Hellickson, 3-2.
You mentioned Jared Cozart going on the disabled list with vertigo. That's nothing to mess around with.
Nick Osaski's the first guy that comes to mind that had that. It really derailed his career.
The A's manager Bob Melvin, my former bench coach, used to suffer from vertigo from time to time, and it's very debilitating. Not sure how badly Cozart is affected. Obviously bad enough to skip a start and put him on the DL.
Over the mound, right to Echeverria at shortstop. 2 down.
You know what's good for vertigo?
Sitting down?
No, the D-backs score 5 runs or more and you get some tacos from Taco Bell. They're giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
Tacos will fix anything.
It'll fix anything.
Especially free ones. Have you had a chance to sample some of the Cuban food here?
No, I have not. Yeah.
So you haven't been to the beach. You haven't eaten any Cuban food.
My room is really nice.
2 down for Inciarte. It'll be fine, but you say that in every city we go to.
The time difference. It never used to bother me as a player or a coach or even as a manager, but as I get up there in years a little bit, man, time change just crushes me.
Yeah, we lost a couple hours coming out here. First in Philly and now in Miami. Ender singled his first time up. Joe's bunt. And now it's 0-2. So Ender, with that base hit to lead off the ball game, has now hit safely in 7 of his last 8 games.
Kohler gave up an 0-2 base hit to Ender Inciarte back in that first inning. He was going to make sure that that 0-2 pitch didn't get hit. Pushed Ender off the plate with a fastball inside at the belt.
Slaps it the other way past a diving Prado, and Inciarte's 2 for 2. Two-out base runner for Mark Trumbo now. Mark flied out his first time.
And once again, there's that distraction at first base with a guy at the plate that could hit a ball out of the ballpark if Kohler happens to make a mistake.
First pitch is bounced in the hole. Prado cuts off Echeverria, and they get the force on Inciarte. Bottom third coming up. No score in Miami.
Beautiful building, and of course Chase Field has a roof, so does Marlins Park, and the roof tonight is open. So the man in charge of this gorgeous ballpark, Executive Vice President Claude Delorme, joins me now. And Claude, this is pretty different to have it open in May. What are the criteria for being able to open the roof?
Yeah, for us, the things we measure a lot is the humidity, the probability of rain, and the winds as well. And the winds tonight were about 10 miles an hour. The temperature's at 82 and very low humidity, which is unusual for this time of the year. So it was an easy decision to keep it open.
Maybe tomorrow too?
Yeah, absolutely. We're looking if this can hold up and the probability of rain is about the same, we'll be playing open again tomorrow.
It is gorgeous, and of course, if you're up high, you can see downtown through those panels. Tell me a little bit about how the glass moves through the panels. I know the roof takes 13 minutes. How quick is it to open and close those?
Yeah, you can do it simultaneously on both sides. So you have 3 panels that slides just where the auxiliary scoreboard is, and just past the home run sculpture, you can see a darker blue on either side. So those panels, once it's open, it provides an opening 240 feet long by 60 feet high, really allows the fans to see a spectacular view of downtown.
There are so many interesting facets to this ballpark, but one thing I want to ask you about is, of course, the home run sculpture in center field. I know art is obviously very important to owner Jeffrey Loria, and that was part of actually an art program in the city, right?
Yeah, we had to spend 1.5% of the value of the ballpark on art, and 400 works were commissioned and 4 were selected, and one of them was the art sculpture in center field, and really reflects the colors and the vibrancy of Miami. Every time there's a home run, it's a mechanical feature, and the Marlins go up and down the arch, and then there's a big splash effect to the left, lights, and flamingos flap their wings, the sun rotates. It's pretty sharp.
It's cool. We don't like to see it too much when we're in town. But did you actually design that, Claude? Come on, what did you have to do with that? Did you design that?
No, I was part of one of the 2 members, though, that went through the 400 pieces of work, but that was impressive by Red Grooms.
And then one other thing, the aquarium behind home plate here obviously is another really neat thing that reflects Miami.
Yeah, absolutely. We were looking for a signature piece behind the plate. We presented to baseball. They were very hesitant. We got a lot of pressure from the from the fish lovers, the concern that they would be abused. But we've got polycarbonate glass, 1.5 inches, Lexan material in front to make sure, same material as bulletproof glass, 2 layers, and it's been very low maintenance. This has worked out really well for us.
Claude, it is just beautiful. We enjoy, especially myself as a Florida native, I enjoy all of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jody. Pleasure.
All right, guys, we'll send it back up to you.
I love the park. I'm not nuts about the colors, but it's Miami. I get it. Architecturally, it's spectacular, and it's beautiful tonight. But I don't know if I'd go on TV and say, yeah, I'm one of the guys that picked that thing.
Yeah.
It is vibrant.
That was one of our keys to the game last night. Keep the fish in the tank. We didn't want to see those marlin sailing around that piece of art out there.
Well, Michael Morse, a leadoff single. Echeverria flies out to Trumbo and right. So Hellickson has a 1-out base runner for the pitcher, Tom Kohler. That was a cool interview. Nice job there by Jody to kind of get the details and the behind-the-scenes story of this great ballpark. And right now the sun is setting out there in the skyline downtown Miami. It's just beautiful. Gets the bunt down. Goldie picks it up. Owings covers. Morse moves up, 2 down.
Well, we have a moment. Let's take a look at our Valley Honda keys to the ball game tonight with Jeremy Hellickson on the mound. Get through 2. 11 of the 25 runs he's given up this year have come in the first 2 innings of the game. So far, so good. He's done that and flashed that leather. You heard Chip Hale talking about the pace with which Jeremy likes to work. They want him to be a little quicker to keep the defense on their toes, and we know when this defense is on their toes, they will make the plays.
Terrific start so far by Jeremy Hellickson. The first time through the order, just 1 hit, a single. He's got 2 strikeouts, 4 ground ball outs. His pace has been very good. And with Morse at second and 2 down, he'll work to Dee Gordon, who struck out his first time up. Two and 0.
Well, we saw the Marlins last night be extremely aggressive against Ruby De La Rosa, who, by the way, if you weren't with us, one of the best pitch games we've seen all year by anybody. But the Marlins were very aggressive, swinging a lot of first pitches. They were 1 for 8 when they put the first pitch of an at-bat in play.
Fastball on 2-0, fouled into the seats. Rubio was one of the heroes last night. He was just sensational.
Outstanding.
Hellickson now at an even 40 pitches, 27 for strikes. 2-1 to Gordon. 3 balls and a strike. Prado would be next.
Talking about that outing by Ruby De La Rosa last night, I was talking to Glenn Sherlock, the bench coach, and I pointed out the obvious. He made 1 bad pitch all night long, and it just happened to be hit out of the ballpark for a 2-run homer. I mean, I guess you could nitpick and say, well, this pitch was caught a little too much plate, or he should have thrown a strike in that count, but the total package of work was outstanding.
He was ahead in the count all night long. It just 4-pitch inning, 7-pitch inning. It was unbelievable. It's been fun to watch him evolve, and at 26, it looks like, talk about power arm guys, high upside guys. He is really becoming the pitcher they anticipated he might be. 2 outs, 3 and 2 to Gordon. Big Michael Morse down there at second base. Won a ring last season in San Francisco. Native Miami, and grew up a huge Marlins fan, Michael Morse, as a kid. And now here he is playing for the hometown team. One more time on 3-2. Tomas is there. Yasmani Tomas at third ends the third and keeps it scoreless. Here's what's next, brought to you by CenturyLink. Fourth inning coming up, and Goldie leads it off for the Diamondbacks. Fourth inning at Marlins Park in Miami. Steve Berthew, Bob Brenly, Jody Jackson with you. Paul Goldschmidt leads off. A scoreless fourth for the Diamondbacks against right-hander Tom Kohler. Goldie, Peralta, Tomas, 3, 4, and 5. 2 hits for the Diamondbacks so far, both Ender and Ciarte singles. 1 hit for the Marlins, Michael Morse a single in the bottom of the third, and that's been all the offense so far. One and one, Goldie. Last 19 games, batting just under .380. 5 homers and 16 RBIs in those 19 games. He's ahead 2-1. Dan Jennings, the GM and the manager for now. You don't like the Marlins manager, just wait a minute. Way up in the air. Very shallow right field. D. Gordon calling for it. 1 away in the fourth. Well, it's a milestone for Goldie here tonight, Bob. 500 games, and we thought, well, you know, who are other right-hand hitting first basemen that we could compare him to, and he stacks up pretty nicely.
He really does. I mean, not really that surprising, but those 2 guys on the right there, Konerko and Bagwell, possible Hall of Famers.
David Peralta.
Didn't miss that one by much. Hit that a mile in the air to the right side.
Here's one more look at that graphic. A lot of info here, but it's really good. I mean, Goldie's got these guys beat
everywhere.
Yeah, in all the power categories. You're talking about 2 borderline Hall of Famers, right?
Yep.
And for me, Paulie, as he's known on the south side, it might be the most underrated hitter of his generation. You always hear about a lot of other guys, but when you look at the numbers, Paul Konerko, I mean, he's right there. And this guy is Konerko-esque. 3-2 now.
It seems like in the time Paulie spent on the south side of Chicago, there was always somebody else that was getting the headlines or making the most noise Harold Payne's a great hitter in his own right. He got a lot of the credit. And then you had Ozzie Guillen as the manager who gobbled up headlines.
Big hurt.
Yeah, Paulie just went about his business. Give me a bat, let me play.
Second walk issued tonight by Tom Kohler. And a one-out base runner for Yasmani Tomas, who walked his first time up.
Always a good deal to put a runner on base ahead of Yasmani Tomas with that inside-out swing, geared to hit the ball to the right side of the field. This plays right into his hands, opening that hole on the right side of the infield.
And with the way that Peralta runs the bases, he'll be looking to get to third on anything hit to right field. Right center gap, and that'll get down, and Peralta is on the run. Andy Green going to stop him at third, though, and Yasmani Tomas keeps on moving. He is now 9 for his last 16 at the plate. That's his 4th double this year. Stay hot.
I mean, that pitch is off the plate inside, and his ability to bring his hands in close to his body, get the barrel on the ball, and still drive it into the gap to the opposite field. That's just truly amazing. Not many guys can do that.
And now you've got the red-hot Chris Owings up there. Second and third, one out in a scoreless fourth. Owings' first pitch swinging in his first at-bat, popped it up. CO with a hitting streak of 7 games now. 5 of those are multi-hit games. He's hit in 7 straight and 10 of his last 11.
Oh, watch out.
Heads up.
Just did duck underneath that breaking ball that never took the break.
Man. Well, it was a 4th inning double that scored 2 runs last night, broke a scoreless tie. Got 2 on in the 4th right now in a 0-0 ball game. That's a strike, 1-1.
Marlins are conceding a run all the way across the infield. Other than a ground ball right back to the mound, David Peralta should be able to score on anything hit on the ground to the infield.
Second and third, one out.
David Peralta running at first base, got a real good read. A right-handed hitter hitting a ball to the opposite field, it's going to have a little bit of slicing action, and that one from up here in the press box, we could clearly see that ball working away farther and farther from Marcell Ozuna, and David had the same read at first base and easily advanced on to third.
You know what I loved about that replay right there? At almost no point did he look back out to right field. He picked up Andy Green as soon as he saw that ball get down and stayed on him. Looked at his third base coach the whole way. 1-2 to Owings.
Well, this has been an issue for Tom Kohler. Times through the order this season. First time through, he's held opponents to a 145 batting average. Second time it jumps up to 370. Haven't been many third times through the order for Tom Kohler.
He strikes out Owings. A big out there for Kohler. 2 down.
We mentioned at the top of the show, Kohler has a couple of different breaking balls. One's a big curve ball that he'll throw very slow, almost like an off-speed pitch, and then he has that cutter slash slider. Depending on how hard he throws it, it has a little bit of movement or a lot of movement.
One thing about Kohler, he did work 3 innings of relief here on Saturday. His only appearance out of the bullpen this year, but right back in the rotation when Cozart went on the DL. 2 on, 2 outs for Tuffy. There's a strike, 0-1. Head into a fielder's choice his last time up. Kohler's last start was last Monday at Dodger Stadium. Allowed only 3 hits in 6 innings, but he did walk 4. Got a no decision. Turned out to be a 5-3 Marlins loss. Off the glove of Kohler, a slow roller, but they have time to get Gozawish, but the throw pulls Morse off the bag. Peralta scores, and it's 1-0 Diamondbacks. And D. Gordon looks like he might have injured himself a bit there.
Kind of an awkward throw. A little confusion up the middle of the field. That one was bounced over the mound and also right over the bag at second. Echeverria and Gordon kind of came together out there behind the bag. And Gordon ends up just kind of throwing flat-footed across his body. Tuffy clearly gets in ahead of the tag by Michael Morse. And the first run of the game comes home.
E4. The error on D. Gordon at second base. Scores Peralta from third. Moves Tomas to third base. Ahmed trying to bunt for a base hit. Tomas is going to come in here. And it's 2-0 Diamondbacks. Nick Ahmed catches Martin Prado napping. And it's an RBI single. 2-0 D-backs.
Oh, what a heads-up play by Nick Ahmed. And a heads-up base running play by Yasmani Tomas. Occasionally that runner at third can get caught by surprise, just like the third baseman got caught by surprise here. But Tomas read it. He saw that ball dying in the grass in front of him and gets on the plate for the second run for the D-backs.
And it clears the pitcher spot in the inning. Hellickson will hit now. He grounded out his first time. First and second, 2 down. Skies this one along the right field line. Stanton. Diamondbacks strand 2, but they get 2. They get a run on the error by Gordon, and then look at this. Nick Ahmed drops down a beautiful bunt single for the RBI, and it's 2-0 Diamondbacks after the top of the fourth. Ahmed turns into an RBI single and the second run for the Diamondbacks. They lead the Marlins 2-0, set for the bottom of the fourth here in Miami. And both these teams are very good defensive ball clubs, with the D. Gordon error at second base on the wild throw that pulled Morse off the bag that led to the first Diamondback run. Kind of opened the door there. Fewest games theirs this season. Marlins and D-backs 2 and 3 right behind the Reds.
And Miami, Arizona ranked 1-2 in fielding percentage for teams in the National League.
So a 2-0 lead now for Jeremy Hellickson, who is off to, fingers crossed, his best start as a Diamondback. He's given up just 1 hit so far, a single by Michael Morse to lead off the third. He's had a ground ball pitch working tonight as well, something we don't usually see from Jeremy, who's a fly ball pitcher. So Prado, Stanton, Ozuna 2, 3, and 4 in the Marlins' fourth. Prado grounded out his first time, 0 for 1. Hellickson's previous start, that game last Wednesday at Chase Field against the Washington Nationals that ended with a grand slam in the 9th inning. And Jeremy, as Chip Hale pointed out, didn't pitch badly in that game. 4 hits, 4 runs, 4 walks, just under 6 innings. And Chip said he thought Jeremy pitched better. Definitely an improvement. Off-speed pitches were much more effective. Prado bangs a base hit into center. Leadoff man aboard in the Miami 4th.
Talking about the off-speed pitches for Hellickson, one wrinkle he's added here tonight that we haven't seen much of is a changeup to the right-handed hitters. Generally, he's fastball, breaking ball to the righties and throws more changeups to the left-handed hitters. But he struck out Giancarlo Stanton back in the first on a straight changeup. That's a new wrinkle.
Well, here's Stanton again. Round 2. So far in this series, neither Gordon or Stanton has reached base. And this is a guy, as we've talked about, does strike out a lot for all the tape measure homers.
Another straight changeup to a right-handed hitter. Same guy, this time first pitch, swing and a miss.
In the air, left field. Peralta calls off Inciarte. Stanton 0 for 2, 1 out in the 4th.
Challenge fastball inside. Stanton just got underneath it, skied it high in the air to left center, where David Peralta called off Ender Inciarte, which was probably the right move because it's a much easier throw for David coming from where he started into the gap in left center than it would be a throw for Ender Inciarte moving the opposite direction.
So far, Jeremy about 70% fastballs. Marcell Ozuna, the center fielder, grounded out his first time. He's a 274 with 3 homers. Did not see him in last night's ball game. He was a late scratch. And this is a guy that's a tremendous baseball player. Just 24 years old. And he had an extended power outage to begin the year, but he's picked it up lately. 3 home runs in a 5-game span last week. His first home run this year didn't come until May 7th. But once he hit his first one, the others followed. And this is another guy that strikes out an awful lot, but he's ahead 2 balls and no strikes. 3-0. Last year, Ozuna punched out 164 times, 7th most in the National League. But the strikeout rate this year is down a tick from last season. Prado, the runner at first. Ball 4. So for the first time tonight, Jeremy Hellickson really has some traffic around him on the bases. And we talked about the rhythm and the pace, which was so good throughout the beginning of this ball game, but now he's got to work from the stretch. The game slows down a bit. Here comes Mike Harkey. Marlins first and second now, 1 out. Mentioned how they were swept here this weekend by the Atlanta Braves. They came within 1 base hit with 2 outs in the 9th of getting no hit on Sunday here by Shelby Miller. In that 3-game series, the Marlins were 3 for 22 with runners in scoring position. That's how you get swept. They were 0 for 3 last night, 0 for 1 so far tonight. But now they have 2 on with 1 out for JT Realmuto, the catcher. Prado, the runner at second, and Ozuna at first. Realmuto flying out his first time up, swung at the first pitch.
You mentioned that near no-hitter by Shelby Miller of the Braves. You know who's a big Shelby Miller fan is Tony La Russa. He was just a young pup coming up through that Cardinals organization when Tony was still over there, and I remember Tony talking about him when he was still in the low minors.
Interesting thing about that hit, and it was Bohr that got the hit with 2 outs in the ninth, so he's one batter away. Watch the catcher, A.J. Przinsky. Watch the catcher when Bohr gets the hit. Watch his reaction. I mean, he knew it, and he was not happy.
Well, A.J.'s been back there for a no-hitter in a perfect game, so it wasn't strange territory for him.
That close. One and one. Real Muto, the rookie catcher, 1 homer. That was last night. First career big league home run. Tied it at 2 off Ruby in the 7th inning. And he's hit safely now in 5 of his last 6 games. In the seats and out of play, 1 and 2. Fly ball left field, right to Peralta. Can he find it? 2 down. I think he was having some fun.
Yeah, I think David was trying to bait the runner into, maybe going a little too far, advancing to the next base, and then maybe throw behind for a double play. David's always thinking out there. And we saw that stolen base attempt by Ender Inciarte earlier in the ball game. I think he was just doing what he saw David do against Michael McHenry when he stole home on the lob throw back to the pitcher. David's always got his head in the game.
2 down now. Christian Yelich grounded out his first time. Jeremy, through the first 2 innings or so, had a whole bunch of ground ball outs, but lately, last inning and a half, all the outs have been fly balls. Marlins making a little better contact here in the 4th. 1-0 to Yelich. 1 for 5 last night. He had a double and struck out twice. Center field, long run for Inciarte at the track, and he runs it down. Another fly ball out gets Jeremy Hellickson off the hook in the 4th as the Marlins strand 2. Ender Inciarte in a very deep center field here in this ballpark runs it down and keeps it 2-0 Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you in part by your Valley Honda dealer, where you'll get more standard features for less money. CenturyLink, your link to what's next.
and buy Mix 1. Great taste, no face, available at local retailers.
I'm sailing the SS Brendley. Nice of you to bring the yacht down for the trip. We give the whole crew a ride. That was fun. We're just making that up. Ender and Ciarte 2 for 2 so far. Leads off the Diamondbacks 5th. They lead it 2-0. Lived in California. We're in Chicago for a long time. They have Lake Michigan. I know you don't like the boats.
No. I don't like the open water. I like ponds where I can see the bank and get there if I have to.
0-2 on Ender now. Diamondbacks got 2 in the 4th on a D. Gordon throwing error. And a surprise bunt single for a base hit by Nick Ahmed. And Ender drives that one right to Ozuna in center, 1 away. Brings up Mark Trumbo back at the 2-hole tonight. Trumbo hit nearly .320 during the first month of the year. He got off to a great start, but he's been fishing a bit at the plate lately, it seems. He struck out only 12 times all through April. And he's already punched out 13 times in 14 games here in May. Just caught the corner down there for a ball and a strike.
And the swing and miss pitch against Mark Trumbo is usually that hard slider away.
Near the seats, foul ground. Morse is over there, but it's out of play. And Mark is walking a lot more this month. He's got 4 homers in May, so there are some good things to take away from, his first half of this month. But the average is down nearly 100 points from where it was in April. .70 pitches now for Kohler, 48 strikes. And he strikes out Trumbo, 2 down. Third strikeout for Tom Kohler.
Hey fans, when the D-backs win, you win at Papa John's. The day after every Diamondbacks win, you get 50% off your regular menu price online order at Papa John's. Enter promo code DBACKS50 at papajohns.com.
Goldie 0 for 2. It's funny, we've talked about how windy it is, and the wind has died down a bit here now that it's dark out. But don't really get a sense, Bob, for with everything open here, does it change? Does the ball carry more or less? It seems kind of the same, frankly.
Just talking to people that watch a lot of ball games in this park, and as you said, there haven't been many occasions where they've had it open. So we'll find out with everybody else. But the general consensus is the ball carries a little better with roof and panels open, just like Chase Field.
Yeah, really windy here the first couple of innings, but it's died down a lot. Flags are dead still out there in left field. 2-1. Oh, 3-2.
It's that hard cutter. He's not going to give in to Goldie. Behind in the count, wasn't going to lay a fastball in there, so he throws that cut fastball. It just does nip the corner, comes right back with it again.
Kind of jammed him that time on the ground. To Prado throws him out. Kohler works a 1-2-3 fifth. Diamondbacks lead the Marlins 2-0.
head to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Jeremy Hellickson in charge up to this point of the ball game, just like his outfield tonight. We talked about the swirling winds with the roof and panels open. David Peralta calling off his center fielder because he had a better angle to make a throw if necessary. And then this one, he tried to deke the runner into believing he didn't know where the ball was. Comes on and makes the play. And then Ender Inciarte had to change his route twice before making that catch on the warning track in deep center field.
Everything opened up. One of the rare nights here at Marlins Park. Defensive run saved. The Diamondbacks just running away with that category in the National League West. Big Michael Morse, former Giant, back with his hometown Marlins. Leads off the Miami 5th. He singled his first time up. Trying to get him going. His playing time has been very inconsistent lately. We saw Justin Bour get the start at first base last night and hit cleanup. Hitting under .210 with a pair of homers since coming over from the Giants in the offseason. Got a 2-year deal. And Morse had an extended slump that began middle of April. A 16-game stretch during which he hit under .170, only 2 RBIs. That's not why they brought him here. And he was striking out a ton. And this is a bat that they need to work if they're going to make a run in this National League East. Bruce. He did not go. Bruce Dreckman down at first. We are in the Clevelander, BB. You can draw your own conclusions. Did you make it out there yet?
No.
No. Should you is the question.
Probably not.
3-2. What could happen? It is in the ballpark. You can actually get inside the Clevelander from outside the park. There's an entrance there as you kind of drive up. Oh, the bat just shatters in half. He hits it right to Ahmed at short. Firewood.
Now, strategically located right next to the visiting bullpen.
It's like that all night long down there, that Miami techno pop stuff. Danny Echeverria, the Clevelander, one of the landmarks of this ballpark.
You know, they have awnings that go out from the Clevelander sign to the top of the left field fence during batting practice to keep the balls out of there, but they crank back the awnings for the game, hoping that somebody will hit one out there to the fans.
Keep that fly ball out of your martini. Danny Echeverria flying out his first time up, 0 for 5 last night with a strikeout. Becoming one of the top all-around shortstops in the game. The offense has really come around this year. He started the season kind of the same old guy, you know, all field, no hit. He was 1 for 22 to start the year, but since then, last 30 games or so, he's hit nearly .350. Sends this one out to Inciarte in that enormous center field here. Another fly ball out for Hellickson. Well, I got news for you that Chase Field not the only ballpark in the National League with a pool. That's out there as well. Of course, we don't have the dancing girls, but
there's a pool out there?
Apparently. I think it's on the other side. It's like a Robert Palmer video back there. Tom Kohler. Good to know that just for safety, there's a lifeguard.
Drinking wine.
In case anything happens. In heels. She's wearing high heels, the lifeguard. You may want to go out there and feign trouble. We'll throw you in the water. You can pretend to be in distress, and we'll see what happens. You don't often see lifeguards wearing, 6-inch heels and sipping mojitos at the Clevelander. No need to worry here. Everything's fine. 0-2. Have you had a mojito while you've been down here?
Not yet.
I'm going to keep going until I find something. And it's not going to be pizza.
I might wait one more inning for the mojito.
70 pitches now for Jeremy Hellickson, 44 strikes. Bounces that one. He offered at it and went, says Bruce Dreckman. Third strikeout for Jeremy Hellickson through 5. He's got a 2-0 lead. The life of luxury here at the Clevelander at Marlins Park. It's like Hef's place.
He's really easygoing, so but I think especially recently he's acclimating really well. I mean, his English is getting really a lot better than it was, and he's able to communicate a lot better, and I think because of that he's probably just more at ease overall, and that's translating on the field. And he's been playing really, really well and looking pretty free and easy doing it.
Mark Trumbo talking about Yasmani Tomas. I think a couple of words he used there are very key. He's more at ease. Again, Mark Grace actually talked to me yesterday about that trust that he has now in not only his teammates but the coaching staff, and we're really seeing the levels of production on the field. But guys, also the English. Some of the guys tell me they've tried to learn a little Spanish. There is the language of baseball as well, but he's also working on trying to learn the English language during all of this acclimation between just learning to be in the U.S. and learning to play third base for the Diamondbacks.
He's a very cool guy. He just kind of goes with the flow, very low key. Nothing seems to rattle him. I know he was a little tense and nervous, as you would expect here to start, but it's all free and easy right now with Big Yasmani. David Peralta leads off the 6th against Tom Kohler. So Peralta, Tomas, Owings, 4, 5, and 6 for the Diamondbacks, who lead it 2-0. A throwing error by D. Gordon led to a run. That was back in the 4th, and then later in that inning, a bunt single for an RBI by Nick Ahmed on a terrific play, catching Martin Prado playing too far back at third. Drove in the second Diamondback run, and that's where we are. And Peralta coming off his big hit last night, this 2-out pinch hit RBI double in the 13th inning that delivered the go-ahead run, turned out to be the winning run. The double, the 8th of the year for David. He said afterward he hung a slider, I just drove it down the line. He also said it was good to do that for the team after the series in Philadelphia. Everybody was down Sunday when we left Philly. I mean, that whole series was just a bummer. But it really was a lift to win that one last night in extras. 2-2 now.
Well, especially given the way Ruby De La Rosa pitched. Teammates hate to lose a start like that. De La Rosa was so good, deserved to get a win in that ball game last night, and anything you can do to get a victory for your team, even though Ruby didn't get the decision, you feel good about that night.
You go back to late April, David's batting average for the year was barely above 200. He was struggling to get consistent playing time, consistent at bats, but he has really picked it up here in May. That's a fair ball. Morse collects it. One down in the 6th. Let's take a look at our T-Mobile game-changing player. Last 3 games for Yasmani Tomas. Whole bunch of multi-hit games.
You'd be smiling too if you got a hit every other at bat.
He's got 3 straight multi-hit games. Doubled and scored his first time up tonight. So as he steps in here, he is 9 for his last 16 at the plate. Chops the first pitch to Prado at third. 2 down.
And we've seen more of that, even though that resulted in a ground ball to third base for an out. Off-speed pitches, breaking balls, change-ups, splitters, anything that's a little bit off-speed that's in the strike zone, that's the ball he's looking to pull hard to left field. Just rolled over that one, hit an easy grounder to third, but we saw him drive one in the gap last night on a hanging breaking ball.
Chris Owings 0 for 2. He has popped up and struck out. Trying to extend that 7-game hit streak. There's a strike, 1-1. Chris has hit safely in 10 of his last 11, and during that stretch is hitting .375. That one's in the seats behind the Diamondback dugout. In the air, right field. Stanton drifting near the line. Tom Kohler doing a pretty good job so far here for the Marlins. 6 innings of work. He's given up only 2 runs on 4 hits, but the Diamondbacks lead it 2-zip. Tonight you can get the D-backs Superhero Special Event Ticket Package that includes a ticket to the game and this, one of the hottest fashion items in America, the D-backs Superhero T-shirt. Now you have to get the Special Event Ticket Package to get the shirt, unless you're our friend Joyce in Philly, who got the Superhero shirt a week before they're even available to the public. That's how hot this item is right now. There's not a whole lot of these shirts. There's about 1,000 or so. So you got to get on this. The Superhero Ticket Package gets you the game and the shirt, and that's the only way to get the shirt, unless you're knocked aside by some goon in a Phillies jersey. But other than that, you got to get on board here. dbacks.com/events.
And as an added bonus on Friday night, it's fireworks night.
Oh, I mean, come on, man. Talk about a win-win. D. Gordon leads off the Marlins 6th. Are you back on the guitar? Is the Whiskey's Quicker thing happening as well?
Yeah, we're doing it again Friday night.
I mean, there's no end to this.
Well, see, what happened was I was lucky enough to be able to play my set with Whiskey's Quicker because it was pregame, and then the weather rolled in, and they had to cancel the postgame concert when Bronson Arroyo was supposed to play, so they invited him back again for the 22nd.
And you're going to join them again. Are you all going to play together now?
Just pregame, Mia. I think Bronson's playing postgame again. Which is why I've been locked in my hotel room practicing my guitar so I don't embarrass myself.
Jeremy Hellickson, an outstanding start so far. 5 innings of 2-hit ball. 1 walk and 3 strikeouts. Gordon, Ahmed got a hurry here. And he beats it out with that speed. D. Gordon's got his first hit in this series. That's the first time so far in this entire series that either Gordon or Stanton have reached base with a base hit.
If you've got to move more than a couple of steps from your position to get to a slow hit ground ball off the bat of D. Gordon, you're not going to get him at first base. He's almost running as he's making contact coming out of that box. His 16th infield hit this season.
Nearly twice as many as Ichiro. So Stanton got a walk late in the ball game last night. Now Gordon, an infield single here to lead off the 6th. That brings up Prado. Prado singled his last time up. He's 1 for 2.
Gordon does have 12 stolen bases, but he's been caught 7 times. It's not like it's a sure thing over there. I think he picks the wrong pitches to run. I think teams have pitched out on him a couple of times this year.
Stole 64 bases last year in LA. Well, Hellickson was in some trouble in the 4th. 2 on, 1 out. Got a couple of fly balls to get out of it. Let's see how he does here. There's a strike to Prado. Chip Hale said Jeremy's last start definitely an improvement, and Hellickson said in that last start last week against Washington, the biggest thing he took away from that was mixing his pitches. I think he's done a great job tonight, Bob, mixing up the fastball, the changeup, and the curveball. Bring Gordon to a stop here.
He's shown increased confidence in that changeup. We've seen him throw it first pitch strike. We've seen him throw it for an out pitch. Occasionally you'll have nights as a pitcher where you come out of that bullpen and one pitch really feels good on a given night. It's coming out of your hand just the way you want it to. It's moving just the way you want it to, and that could be the case with Jeremy and his changeup tonight.
That has always been his big swing and miss pitch. He's not necessarily a strikeout pitcher by any means, but when he gets a swing and miss, it's oftentimes on that changeup. And Chip Hale said Hellickson doesn't have high velocity, so he really has to mix his pitches. That's key for him. Because the fastball is so dependent on location. He's got to be pinpoint with that fastball because it's 90-91. It's not a fastball that he can throw by anybody. And it's topped out tonight at 92. It's not a swing and miss pitch fastball. So he's got to be effective with that changeup and the curveball and prevent hitters from just sitting on that fastball and looking to drive one. And being ahead in the count, vital there. 0-2 here. Got to keep hitters off balance by mixing things up.
That indecision on the part of a hitter, if you can demonstrate early on in a ball game that you can command an off-speed pitch, whether it's a breaking ball or a changeup, it makes your fastball that much better, and it forces that hitter to buy into your secondary pitch and look for it at times, and then you're susceptible to the fastball.
Gordon holds it first. If a guy has a good changeup but an okay fastball, does the good changeup make the fastball seem better?
Absolutely. I mean, there were times when I played with the Toronto Blue Jays. Cito Gaston was our hitting coach at the beginning of the season, and he used to tell us to go to the plate and look for changeups against certain pitchers, guys that would find themselves in a hitter's count and throw that straight changeup more often than not. He said, why look for a fastball if the guy's not going to throw it? Get on his off-speed pitches.
That's a great example of keeping a guy off balance right there. You saw Prado kind of lock himself up there and wave at that one for the strikeout. 4 strikeouts for Hellickson.
finishes him off with that breaking ball in the dirt, low and away. Martin Prado not even close to that one.
So here's Giancarlo. He has struck out and flied out 0 for 2, still hitless in the series. Eighty pitches for Jeremy, 51 strikes.
I'll tell you, a perfect example is the way Jeremy has worked to Giancarlo Stanton tonight. First at bat in the ball game, he struck him out with a changeup down low in the zone, had Stanton way out in front. Next time, a 91-mile-an-hour fastball right on the inside corner, and Stanton is just a little bit late, popped it up to left field.
That last one was a good example of Jeremy's fastball when he's locating it with that pinpoint command right around the edges of the strike zone. That's when he's most effective. Stanton now at 240 on the year. He's not having a great May in terms of batting average. Careful here on 2-0. Yep. There it goes. Clevelander. It's over the Clevelander. Giancarlo Stanton. His 12th of the year, and we are tied at 2. That's his 5th home run in the last 7 games. 2-2 ball game in the 6th.
Like another changeup, but you don't try to throw your changeup to the inside part of the plate. You always want to throw it from the middle of the plate away if possible. That one just kind of hung there on a tee for Giancarlo Stanton, and he did not miss it.
So once again, it's a whole new ball game. Just like last night, Diamondbacks had a 2-0 lead. Marlins come back and tie it 108 off the bat. Last night it was JT Realmuto, a 2-run homer in the 7th, and tonight Giancarlo Stanton's 2-run homer in the 6th, and it's a 2-2 ball game. Marcell Ozuna. Boy, this when he hits them, they are just majestic. One and 2.
Well, hopefully Jeremy will respond the way that Ruby De La Rosa did in the ball game last night. He gave up the 2-run home run to Realmuto last night and then retired everybody he saw the rest of the ball game.
In the air, right center field, Inciarte drifting out toward the warning track, and he's got it for the 2nd out. Well, Jeremy Hellickson winless in his last 4 starts. The ERA in those starts is over 7, but one of the problems is going deep into games. He's not completed 6 innings in any of those last 4 starts, but has only 1 loss over that span. He's been efficient tonight, still not at 90 pitches. Here is Realmuto, who's 0 for 2. A couple of fly ball outs. That's in the seats. So in terms of the pitch efficiency, the way he's pitched, last week was an improvement. Tonight, certainly an improvement. Getting deeper into the ball game, throwing fewer pitches, having a better pace. But a lot like Ruby De La Rosa last night, just the 1 mistake pitch. There's a strike, 1-2. You go back through Jeremy's last 3 outings, pitch efficiency, 94 pitches in 5 1/3, not there. 96 pitches in 4 2/3. 91 pitches, 5 2/3. That was the last start. Much better tonight.
And many times it's been the first 2 innings of the ball game. You'll have a 25 or 30 pitch first inning and back it up with a 19 or 20 pitch second inning, and obviously that's going to limit how many more pitches you can throw, how many innings you can pitch in that game.
And tonight he retired the first 6 he faced. 2 strikeouts, 3 ground ball outs. This is there and it's full. First Yelich on deck. Reaches down and pokes it foul ground first base side. Goldie has a look, but it's in the seats. Oh, that's, he had it. Right in his hands there. Diamondbacks fan during Martin Prado's at bat. Nice glove work there. Give it to a kid.
Nicely done. Outstanding.
One more time.
That D-backs fan showed good quickness, good positioning there. Had his glove ready, jumped out in the aisle, made the catch.
Well, as a fan in this ballpark, you do have to have good range, good lateral movement, because you will be moving. Roll to shortstop for Nick Ahmed. But Giancarlo Stanton, his 12th of the year. Giancarlo goes Yardo, and it's 2-2 after 6 in Miami.
Choose Chaz.
Oh, Miami. 2-2 ball game here at Marlins Park. Hey, fans, follow the Diamondbacks all season long with MLB.com at Bat. It's the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat is up to the moment at any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, StatCast, and a whole lot more. Get MLB.com at Bat for your smartphone or tablet. Well, Tom Kohler suddenly back in the ball game now. 2-2 as we start the 7th, and Kohler in a spot start for Jared Cozart, who went on the DL with vertigo, has retired the last 7 he's faced, and he'll work to the lower third of the Diamondbacks order. Gozawish Ahmed in the pitcher spot. Daniel Hudson throwing in the Diamondback bullpen with the pitcher scheduled to hit third in this inning. Here's Huddy. Clevelander behind him. Prado at third makes a nice stab at that one and throws out Gozowich.
Robbery. Duffy hits that ball right on the button. Prado just had time to fall down to his right knee and stick the glove out there. The ball was very nearly by him when he made the play.
Nick Ahmed now had an RBI bunt single his last time up. Pitcher spot is due up next, and Aaron Hill is indeed out in the on-deck circle for the Diamondbacks, so it looks like Hellickson's night will end here. When Nick had an RBI single in Saturday's game at Philadelphia, and a base hit and a run scored Friday in the series opener at Citizens Bank Park. There's Aaron Hill on deck. And so, counting the bunt single RBI tonight, Nick has now hit safely in 5 straight. After a couple of days out of the starting lineup, just sort of hit the reset button. But he's down here 0-2. Base hit for Ahmed. Drives it into left. Yelich over there to cut it off. Nick will take a big turn and hold there. He's 2 for 3. And here's Aaron Hill, who will hit for Hellickson. 275 on the year with 3 homers. And Jeremy made 1 bad pitch. Other than that, he was really good tonight.
Big step in the right direction for Jeremy Hellickson. Hopefully something that will carry over into his next start. We talked a lot about his pace, the time between pitches. Worked much quicker tonight at his defense on their toes. Just had 1 bad changeup hanging inside to Giancarlo Stanton.
Chuck Hernandez, the pitching coach, with Kohler at 92 pitches right now. Marlins bullpen is busy. There's a righty and a lefty warming up down there. Dunn the lefty and Morris the righty. So Kohler, who pitched 3 innings in relief here over the weekend, doing a good job here tonight. He had retired 8 straight before the Ahmed single. Aaron 275, 3 homers. 0 for 5 with a pair of strikeouts last night. Aaron last 15 games hitting just over 390. 10 RBIs. Oh, and 2. There's that tricky move from Kohler.
What makes that pickoff move so effective is we've shown you shots of runners leading off first base before, and they try to peek in and see where the catcher sets up, maybe even steal signs from the catcher. And that snap throw while you're standing there getting the sign, a lot of times you'll catch the base runner looking in at home plate rather than looking at the pitcher on the mound.
This is away there, 1-2. Yeah, Dave McKay was showing the Diamondback base runners exactly that on video before the ball game today. There goes Ahmed. Aaron Hill fouls it off. Nick off with the pitch that time.
Pretty good jump that time by Nick. I'm sure that was a straight steal. You don't hit and run with a 2-strike count on the hitter, but he was taking a peek back anyway just to see what happened at home plate.
There goes Nick one more time. Aaron lifts it in the air to right center field. Long run for Ozuna. He gathers it in right in front of the warning track. And that's out number 2. And that's going to be it for Tom Kohler. Here comes Dan Jennings. His second game as the Marlins skipper, introduced as their new manager yesterday morning here. And it looks like he might have his first double switch as a big league skipper. Haven't seen any defender run off the field yet.
Well, they could possibly go back to Marcell Ozuna's spot. He made the out before Real Muto ended that bottom half of the 6th inning.
So we'll take a break from Marlins Park and sort it out. Pitching change here in the 7th inning of a 2-2 ball game. And Ichiro is indeed coming out, and Ozuna will leave. Double switch is underway. 2-2 back after this. Destination D-backs Pepsi display. Purchase $25 worth of participating Pepsi, Budweiser, and Frito-Lay products, and you'll get a pair of tickets to an upcoming D-backs Friday night game. See the display for offer details. Pepsi, live for now. It is indeed a double switch by Dan Jennings. The new pitcher is the left-hander Mike Dunn. 12 of his 16 appearances this year have been scoreless, including 9 of his last 10. Ichiro takes over for Ozuna in center field. He bats 9th, pitcher spot now 4th in the Miami order. So you've got Ahmed at first, 2 outs, and Ender and Ciarte up there. 2 for 3, a pair of singles. Ender down 0-2.
Big deal. He's been down 0-2 in all 3 of his at-bats in this game. First 2 times up, he got hits. The last time he flied out to center field.
This is another thing that makes him such a great leadoff candidate. Look at that batting average against left-hand pitchers, 324. You don't have to worry about dropping him down to 7th or 8th in the order when there's a lefty up there. He can still bat leadoff. Ahmed holds it first, and Ender slaps it into the seats again. We talked about that last night. You know, it doesn't matter for Ender and Ciarte. Home road is almost identical. There's no big platoon split there or anything. The left-right thing is fine. But he's just so consistent. Knocks it out toward Yelich. And that's the inning. Dunn comes in and strands the one-out single. Stretch time at Marlins Park in a 2-2 ball game. Like a jolt of Cuban coffee. That was the Cox Gigalife high-speed highlights. Daniel Hudson on for the 12th time this year to work the bottom of the 7th. Yelich, Morse, and Echeverria 6, 7, and 8 for the Marlins. 2-2 ball game here at Marlins Park. Yelich so far 0 for 2. He has grounded out and flied out. I got one for you here.
Okay.
Christian Yelich I was reading about his family. I mean, he's a $50 million baseball star. He's 23 years old. So there's one. His brother Colin is a catcher at Sam Houston State who started at UNLV. Colin Yelich. He got an uncle, Chris, who was an offensive lineman on 2 Rose Bowl winning teams at UCLA. And Christian Yelich's great-grandfather played 11 years in the NFL, was an All-Pro on the 1945 Cleveland Rams. His great-grandfather also designed that Rams helmet logo.
No kidding.
Yeah, Christian Yelich's great-grandfather, Fred Gerke. He's also credited with designing the first face mask on a pro football helmet. So it's quite an athletic family. Three and 2.
Well, football players everywhere are grateful for the innovations in face masks.
Remember that one? We were in Miami. Remember the one Larry Zonka had? He broke his nose about a dozen times. He had that sort of Like a
U-shaped
T-bar,
thing
yeah,
that came down from the top.
Giancarlo's got a custom-made face mask. There's a called strike 3. Yelich put the bat down and was ready to jog over to first base, but Dan Bellino rings him up. And I think the Diamondbacks might have got the benefit of a call there.
A little bit of late movement. Took that one down below the bottom of the strike zone. Gladly take that call.
Pretty good take by Yelich. Big Michael Morse singled in the third, 1 for 2. Belts it out to Trumbo in right. 2 down. Danny Echeverria, Diamondback Live postgame show, follows our ball game here on Fox Sports Arizona right after the conclusion of this ball game. Dinner time right now back home, about 6:15, just after 9 here local time. Glad you're with us, Steve Berthune, Bob Brenly, and Jody Jackson. Another good one here for you, 2-2 in the 7th. Echeverria's flat out twice, he's 0 for 2. This is a guy that's worked a lot with the Marlins hitting coach. Frank Menachino is the hitting coach here, and they've worked on the positioning of his hands and mostly his mentality. Just hit it up the middle. He used to be a very pull-happy guy for a guy that didn't hit a whole lot. And they have convinced him, and he's bought in Echeverria. Just try and hit it right back up the middle. The biggest part of the field. And right there, drops it into right center field. 2-out single for Echeverria. And Ichiro is coming up. He's a much more well-rounded player now at the age of 26. And here at the age of 41, in his 15th major league season, Ichiro Suzuki. Just under 290 with a homer. Got the start in center field last night, was on base 3 times, 2 singles and a walk. And Ichiro, as he begins the ball game tonight, 127 hits away from 3,000. And that, of course, just his major league career, already well over 4,000 hits in both the U.S. and Japan. This is at 97, 1-0. Showed you this last night. Look at these career numbers. Also just 10 stolen bases away from 500 in the U.S. It's a 353 career hitter with the Oryx Blue Wave in the Pacific League over there. 1-1. "41 years old. He turns 42 in October. Once had 262 hits in a season, 2004 with the Mariners. There goes Echeverria. The throw from Gozawish is in time. They got him. He might have come off the bag there. Tom Hallion, the crew chief, is the second base umpire. And there will be no challenge from the Marlins dugout. Tuffy Gozawish throws out a Danny Echeverria. He clearly beat the throw, but yup, he came off the bag. And Nick Ahmed kept the glove down to get the out. We're going to the 8th in a 2-2 game. or just a really cool play by Nick Ahmed?
A little of both. A horrible slide by Echeverria. We've seen bad slides for years now. It's just an art that guys aren't very good at anymore. The idea is to slide to the base, not into shallow left field. Heads up play by Nick to keep the tag on, much like Aaron Hill did last night to get an out at second base on a very similar play.
And it's a very similar game. The Diamondbacks had a 2-0 lead. They got 2 in the 4th last night, 2 in the 4th tonight. Marlins came back and tied it on a 2-run homer. Miami had some caught stealings that changed the ball game late. And here's Trumbo to lead off the 8th with a base hit. Leadoff man aboard for the Diamondbacks. And here comes Goldie.
And in a tie ball game late, possibly a pinch runner here. A.J. Pollock is still on the bench. It depends on whether Chip wants to save A.J. and use him as a pinch hitter possibly later in the ball game, or does he want the runner on first base here in the 8th of a tie game?
And Jennings is going to let the left-hander Dunn work to Goldschmidt here. And had a right-hander up earlier. But it's Dunn and Goldie, strike one. Goldie so far 0 for 3. Is that where the thinner bench might come into play for the Diamondbacks?
Yeah, I think if you had the extra guy available on the bench, you probably would see A.J. Pollock running right here.
Try call. Goldschmidt down 0-2. This is away at 96. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Got him. Big strikeout for Dunn. They knew what they were doing in that Marlins dugout. Goldie usually just crushes lefties. Hitting .387 against left-hand pitching this year, but Dunn gets a big strikeout for the first out in the 8th. And now you're going to see A.J. Pollock hit for David Peralta. So Pollock announced as the hitter for Peralta. A.J. blasts it down the left field line. It's headed for the corner, and that ball is gone. A home run. A.J. Pollock, 8th inning, a 2-run pinch hit homer, and it's 4-2 Diamondbacks.
That's why he didn't pinch run. Rather have him swing the bat against a left-handed pitcher. It's surprising that the Marlins didn't have a righty and a lefty going. They have another left-hander available. They've got a bunch of right-handers down there, but the lefty serves up a meatball to A.J. Pollock. Gives the D-backs a 2-run lead. Just a fastball, inner part of the plate, and A.J. was ready for it.
So it's a 4-2 ball game, and here's Yasmani Tomas. The first pinch hit home run by the Diamondbacks this year, and it's off the bat of A.J. Pollock, and a great time for it in a 2-2 ball game in the 8th. Yasmani walked in the 2nd, doubled and scored in the 4th. He's 1 for 2. No one's touching the baseball. Is that a superstitious thing? What's going on there? Someone hit that ball for a homer. Don't touch it.
Don't touch it.
You're a pitcher. So A.J. gets his 4th of the year. Tomas down 1-2 now.
I don't want to be overly critical of Dan Jennings because we're not sure of the status of his bullpen tonight, but in a tie game in the 8th inning, you've got to be ready to play matchups.
He's got a
batter.
He's got a right-hander going right now.
Yeah.
Oops.
Well, after the horse ran away, you close the barn door.
2nd career pinch hit home run for A.J. Pollock. A little too late there. Morris, he was throwing earlier in the ball game, and he's back up now in the Miami bullpen.
And those are things you'll learn from your advanced scouts moving forward. Which guys in the lineup will the opposing manager pinch hit for late in a close game? You know, obviously Goldie's not going to be taken down for a pinch hitter.
But look, it's a hard job. But lefty righty.
We've got a fully stocked bullpen. Have 2 lefties available down there. Done in the game now. They also have Hand available.
Tomas, base hit, stay hot. Yasmani knocks it into right. Yasmani Tomas, 3 hits last night. A walk, a single, and a double tonight. Chuck Hernandez on the phone to the bullpen. And he just told JT Realmuto, go out there and chat with the pitcher so we can buy some time, as Dunn has had a rough 8th inning. And we're going to have perhaps another big change here by Jennings, who before yesterday morning was the general manager here in the front office. And then yesterday it was announced he's the new manager after Mike Redmond was fired on Sunday. A.J. Pollock, a pinch hit home run. New pitcher coming in. 4-2 D-backs in the 8th. Back after this.
As a member of the Chicago Cubs at Miller Park in Milwaukee, tying Ellis Burke's record of homering in 40 different major league parks.
We talked about Paul Konerko earlier. Crime Dog, another really underrated hitter.
I'm telling you, he had an outstanding career, finished just shy of 500 home runs for his career, 493 homers to be exact, 284 lifetime hitter.
Well, on here in the 8th inning, a little bit later than would have been ideal for the Marlins, the right-hander Brian Morris, his 19th appearance of the year, the ERA right about 4.5. This is a guy they picked up last June in a trade with the Pirates. He was really good after they got him last year. 4-1 with a .66 ERA. Mixed results this season. He'll face Chris Owings with Yasmani Tomas at first base, and 1 out. Diamondbacks lead at 4-2 on A.J. Pollock's 2-run pinch hit homer. Right back to the mound. The 1-6-3 double play ends the inning, but the Diamondbacks get 2. A.J. Pollock is 4th of the year. A 2-run pinch hit homer, and it's 4-2 Diamondbacks. NHL, NBA playoff action, plus all the action from tonight's Major League games. You can see Fox Sports Live tonight, 10 o'clock on Fox Sports 1, or see it simulcast right here, Fox Sports Arizona, at 10 o'clock. A look outside Marlins Park here in downtown Miami. Defensive changes for the Diamondbacks after A.J. Pollock hit for David Peralta. Ender Inciarte moves from center to left, replacing Peralta. And Pollock takes over in center. Ichiro leads off the Marlins' eighth against Daniel Hudson. There's strike one. Ichiro checked into the ball game in the seventh inning as part of a Marlins double switch. He was up when a Danny Echeverria was thrown out stealing to end the seventh. Huddy throwing hard here tonight, 1-1. Before the ball game today, the governor, Greg Schulte, Leo Gilmartin, and I recorded a new episode of the D-Backs podcast, episode 19, available at dbacks.com and on iTunes. And our guest was Andrew Chafin. You'll notice there is no mustache. It's gone. He said he couldn't eat cheeseburgers. So the mustache had to go. But Andrew was nice enough to join us on our podcast this afternoon. We taped it from the visiting radio booth here. I haven't checked if it's posted yet, but you can get it at dbacks.com and on iTunes. With guest star Andrew Chafin, who will stop throwing now, apparently. Mark Reed, the bullpen catcher. One-two pitch to Ichiro, and he waves at it. Hudson strikes him out. Second strikeout for Huddy.
Not an easy thing to do, strike out Ichiro Suzuki, but he does it on a good changeup. Bottoming action as it got into the hitting zone. In those two strikeouts, Ichiro just tries to run and swing at the same time, put the ball in play somewhere on the left side of the field and try to leg it out, but out in front of that changeup.
Now watch Ichiro with the bat. He is unbelievably meticulous about his bats. It never goes in the bat rack. It's kind of like Wonder Boy. It stays in a case. D. Gordon, corners come in. Tomas at third, Goldie at first. Mentioned that he keeps his bats in a special custom-made dehumidifier. Make sure all the moisture gets sucked out of the wood there. Right to Goldie. Two down. Gordon 1 for 4. Here comes Martin Prado. He's still doing his whole thing, Martin, where he taps the bat on the toes and walks straight into the box. Now watch the wrist tap. There it is, the whole thing. That will never change, I have a feeling. And now we're set to go here. Prado singled in the fourth, 1 for 3. Drives it out to Trumbo, right field. And Daniel Hudson works an 8-pitch 1-2-3-8. We go to the ninth in Miami. The Diamondbacks lead the Marlins 4-2. Gila River game summary. Diamondbacks got 2 in the 4th on a D. Gordon throwing error, and a Nick Ahmed RBI bunt single made it 2-zip D-backs. Marlins tied it in the 6th on Giancarlo Stanton's 12th of the year, and then with 1 out in the 8th inning, A.J. Pollock batting for David Peralta. His 4th home run this season, a 2-run pinch hit homer. Off lefty Mike Dunn, and it made it 4-2 Arizona. And here we are in the 9th. So if he goes a wish, we'll lead it off. Goes a wish, Ahmed, and the pitcher spot 7, 8, 9 for the Diamondbacks. Tuffy so far 0 for 3. Daniel Hudson, 2 outstanding innings of relief. On for Jeremy Hellickson, but Enrique Burgos, who got his first big league save in the 13th inning here last night, looks like he's going to get the 9th inning. Marlins will have Stanton, the pitcher spot, and Real Muto 3, 4, and 5. You could have conceivably there, BB, gone kind of old school there, and like Goose Gossage used to do, go the final 3 innings. Dick Raditz used to do that, the monster back in Boston back in the day. But I had Honey go 3, yeah, but looks like they want Burgos to get more experience in that role at the major league level. Plus, you've got the pitcher spot due up 3rd in the inning. And so you'd like to get an extra bat in there. You don't want to have Hudson hit. A little flare over the head of Gordon. It drops in front of Stanton. And Tuffy has a single to lead off the 9th.
And we know the Diamondbacks are being very careful with Daniel Hudson, especially in the early part of the season. And maybe pulling the plug right now would mean he'd be available again tomorrow night.
So you've got Gozawish at first. Ahmed up. Pitcher spot is next, and Cliff Pennington is in the on-deck circle. Hudson gave up 1 single to Echeverria and 2 strikeouts. Worked a gorgeous 1-2-3-8 to get us here to the 9th. Once again, Nick Ahmed, who had a bunt single RBI in the 4th, shows bunt, looks at ball 1.
We saw early in the season Chip Hale liked to show bunt on the first pitch, and if the pitch was a ball, come right back with a hit and run on the next pitch. Got the infield breaking all over the place. Corners are charging. Middle guys are moving all over the place. All kinds of holes in that infield.
Prado creeping into 3rd. Gozawish holds. Ahmed fouls it up the first baseline. This was Nick Ahmed back in the 4th. Prado playing back. 2 outs, and he caught him napping. Tomas scored from 3rd. That was 2-0 Diamondbacks right there.
Yeah, the 2 biggest hits in the game so far for the Diamondbacks was Nick Ahmed's bunt that went 40 feet and A.J. Pollock's home run that went 340 feet.
Prado just on the edge of the grass at 3rd. Morse holding Tuffy at 1st. Prado creeps in now. Ahmed bunts it up the first baseline. Morse picks it up. Gordon covers, and Gozawish moves up. Nicely done there by Nick Ahmed. So Nick's had a nice night here. 2 hits, an RBI, sacrifice bunt in the 9th to move Gozawish into scoring position for Cliff Pennington. So Pennington will hit for Hudson. 1 out in the 9th. Cliff at 154. Grounded into a double play as a pinch hitter in the 12th inning last night. Cliff 3 for his last 26 up there. Misses at 95, but it's 2 balls and no strikes. On a hop to Echeverria at shortstop. Tuffy back to the bag at 2nd, 2 down.
That's where this game can be a little deceiving. Cliff Pennington last night came into ball game in the 12th inning, grounded into a double play, but hit it right on the nose. A sharp one-hopper right to D. Gordon at second. That time hit a hard one-hopper right at the shortstop. Good solid contact, squared it up. Unfortunately, hit it right at a defender.
2 down for Ender and Ciarte, 2 for 4, a pair of singles. Ender's now hit safely in 7 of his last 8 games. Kozowicz at second, 2 outs. That's a called strike back there by Dan Bellino as he went. Ender got kind of all tied up on that one. Marlins outfielders, it's hard to tell on this enormous outfield, but they appear to be playing in. Maybe with a chance to cut down that runner at home plate. Kozowicz on a base hit to the outfield. Bounced high over the mound. Gordon, the backhander, throws him out. Enrique Burgos, he was the man to shut the door last night in extras. Got his first big league save. Can he make it 2 for 2? Bottom 9 coming up. Stanton leads it off. Enrique Burgos, 17 saves at South Bend 2 years ago, 29 saves at Visalia last year, 6 saves in 7 chances with AA Mobile this season. Called up to the majors, now his 10th career appearance. He got career save number 1 in the 13th inning last night. And here he is with a 4-2 lead, bottom 9 in Miami. And he'll face Giancarlo Stanton to lead it off. Stanton hit a moonshot homer over the Clevelander off Jeremy Hellickson his last time up. And he will lead it off. The pitcher spot is 4th now in the Miami order after a double switch. And Justin Bour, a big, powerful left-hand hitter, is in the on-deck circle. But first he'll deal with Stanton, and there's strike 1. Diamondbacks put the overshift on the left-hand side. 3 infielders over there. Goldie all by himself midway between first and second. Burgos jumps ahead 0-2. The Stanton homer is only hit of the series so far. This is a role, as we mentioned last night, that Burgos has gotten used to. He's been the closer at every minor league level. This is a different ball game. Away from the shift, but right to Goldie. That's a big out, number 1.
Goldie, the only defender on that right side of the field, and I'll be doggone if Giancarlo Stanton doesn't hit it right to him. Perfect positioning.
Justin Bour now will hit for the pitcher. 1 for 5 last night, a single. He scored a run. 6'4", 250. He's a load up there. Strike one. Andrew Chafin, who was warming up earlier in the Diamondback bullpen, is back up there. Bohr has only 30 big league at bats for the Marlins this year, and he's down 0-2. Burgos is not messing around up there. Chafin was throwing briefly earlier. Does not appear to be in any hurry right now, just kind of tossing. The 0-2 from Burgos. Just down and in. Bohr played 14 games with AAA New Orleans this spring before getting called up to the majors again near the end of April. Only 30 at bats for the Marlins and 2 extra base hits this year. Boy, he's sticking with that slider here, Bob.
He's throwing a lot of them. In the minor leagues, you can get away with firing 96, 97 by most of the hitters that you're going to face. But up here, guys can turn that around in a hurry. Doesn't have great command of that slider at all times. Just don't want to make a mistake up over the middle of the plate with it.
Ooh. Didn't get the call at 97 from Molino, and it's full 3 balls and 2 strikes. Right on the edge here. Boy, that's great location. Really good. Down and away from a powerful left-hand hitter. It's right where you want it. 3-2 pitch. Bounced it in the dirt. And the tying run will come to the plate with 1 out in the 9th.
You mentioned Burgos got his first save of his major league career in that ball game last night, but that was kind of an unusual circumstance. Extra innings. Ziegler and Reed had already been used, and Burgos was the next man standing down in that bullpen. But this is completely different. I mean, Chip Hale pretty much had his choice of relief pitchers to come in here in the 9th inning and try to save this game, and he chose to go with Burgos. Big test for him.
JT Realmuto, the catcher, 0 for 3. He, of course, had the big 2-run homer that tied it in last night's ball game. His first career home run. There's a strike. This was JT Realmuto. 7th inning last night after Bohr had singled. Into the Diamondback bullpen, and that thing got all cranked up out there.
Well, I'd definitely be careful with the slider to this guy. And as we mentioned, Burgos doesn't always have great command of that slider, but that was a pitch he hit out of the ballpark for that 2-run homer last night. I don't know if he can catch up to a good Enrique Burgos fastball.
Nope.
Like that.
I was going to say 97.
Good location, too.
Bounced a few sliders. Just throw that heat, right? Although he missed his spot badly on that one.
He missed his spot, but at 97, you can afford to miss your spot a little bit. That slider, however, off speed, can't afford to miss your spot with that pitch.
1-2. Right by Brett Butler at third. One thing that really impressed Diamondbacks coaches with Enrique Burgos when he was closing games in the minors last year was his presence out there. He's got a good mound presence, always under control, never appeared flustered. Pretty much the same guy every night. That's what you need in a guy who's going to close games. Blew it right by him, although there's that slider at 88. 2 down.
Good location on that one. Started in the middle of the plate, sweeping toward that outside corner.
Christian Yelich. Now Chafin, the lefty, has been warming. He's ready down there with Mel Stoudemire Jr., the bullpen coach, but it will be Burgos and Yelich He's the tying run at the plate, 2 outs in the 9th. There goes Bohr. They're not holding him on. Defensive indifference. He moves up to second as Burgos delivers strike 1. Yelich 0 for 3, struck out looking on a close pitch his last time up.
Now this is just a meeting to get the signs together with a runner at second base. That's why Nick Ahmed came running in from shortstop. He wants to know what signs are in effect right here, so he and Chris Owings can get together on which way to move, one side or the other, left or right.
'97 misses, and it's a ball and a strike. Diamondbacks got a long look at Burgos this spring. That slider impressed him. You see the power arm, the 97-98, but that slider, that off-speed pitch has really come along, and he's throwing it a lot here tonight. This is again with a fastball, though, and it's 2 balls and a strike. For the Marlins, this is only their 7th at bat in the entire series with a runner in scoring position. So far, they're 0 for 6. Morse on deck. You don't want him getting a chance here. Not with his power. 2-1 to Yelich. Now he's lost it here. It's 3-1. Ride's starting to get a little bumpy right now for Enrique Burgos. Steps off, just kind of resets himself here. Got to throw a strike. Good pitch right there.
Well, Yelich just did the Diamondbacks a huge favor. 3-1 count and chases a slider in the dirt. That wasn't even close.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bohr at second. Yelich the tying run at the plate. Base hit up the middle. They will stop Bohr at third. And here comes Michael Morse. He's the winning run. Mike Harkey.
I think this is why you didn't see Chip Hale go to the lefty to face Yelich. You got a string of right-handers here until you roll back around to the top and D. Gordon again. All the left-handed pinch hitters have been used by the Marlins tonight. I stand corrected. Ichiro is now in the 9 spot, so you've got 2 righties in a row right here before you get Ichiro and then D. Gordon back to back. That's where you could possibly see Chafin, but we're not going to get that far.
Last man standing, 6'5", 245, big Michael Morse, one of the Giants' postseason heroes last year. He got a World Series ring. 279 in San Francisco, 16 homers. He's had a tough start to his Marlins career. Grounded out in a pinch hit appearance last night. Tonight, 1 for 3, a single in the 3rd. And he is the winning run at the plate with 2 outs. .98, he's really struggling to throw that fastball for a strike right now. J.C. Ramirez warming quickly, the right-hander. There it is. Off speed for a strike, 1-1.
Front door slider that time, kind of started it off the plate inside, maybe got back to the corner.
Looks like he has a lot more faith in that slider right now than he does the fastball. Tuffy sets up down and away. Way outside, and Morse is ahead, 2 balls and a strike. Enrique, 23 pitches right now, only 13 strikes. strike two.
He's gone to the slider when he's needed to throw a strike. 7 of his last 8 fastballs have been out of the zone.
2 on, 2 outs. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Fly ball near the right field corner. Trumbo near the seats. And it's out of play. He got him! Enrique Burgos walks the high wire. But the Diamondbacks close out their second straight win. They beat the Marlins here 4-2. Enrique Burgos could not throw a fastball for a strike, but reached down and found a way to get it done. And the Diamondbacks have taken the first 2 games of this 4-game series.
A nice job by Burgos and a nice job by Tuffy to recognize that he was struggling with that fastball command and went to his secondary pitch, the slider. He threw some really good ones in that inning, better than we've seen him throw all year.
And Daniel Hudson in relief gets his first win of the season. Dunn the loser, he's 0-3. And Enrique Burgos, his second major league save in as many nights. Diamondbacks win it 4-2. And they have taken the first 2 games of this 4-game series, 2 hours and 46 minutes. And we're just about ready to start our Diamondbacks.